What is up, guys? We are live. Welcome, Zach Ginn here, and in today's video, we're going to break down how to generate tons of free leads for your real estate wholesaling business. I'm super excited to share this video with you because honestly, when I started out in wholesaling real estate, I had $300 in my bank account, and I really couldn't afford any of the big list pulling services. I mean, 20 cents per lead for list source was just way out of my budget at 17 years old with basically no money. I use that money for gas and Bandit signs. So really what I want to do is change some lives today and really show you how to pull free leads. If someone says, I don't have any money, I can't get any leads for my wholesaling business, I want you to show them this video to show you that yes, you can pull like free wholesaling leads like everywhere you want. Reminder guys, this is live. So if you have a question, go let me know. I'm super excited to answer that for you and really go over everything. So what I'm going to do is really share with you how I pull tons of free leads, how I pulled lots of free leads when I was broke as a joke back then, and really what I can do to help you guys out with tons of free leads. But before we get into it, before I show you all this stuff, guys, I'm going to save you probably over 50 hours of heartache and pain and just wasting time in this video. So if you can, just do me a quick favor, smash that like button, make sure you subscribe, and remember, ask a question. If you ask a question, you'll definitely help someone out, and I know for a fact that will just help everyone out. So I truly appreciate it, guys. And the one last thing here, we want to make sure, looks like my audio's all messed up.
All right, that's way better. Sorry, guys, you had to deal with the, I think I did that phone mic, I did the computer microphone there by accident. Looks like I didn't check that, but camera's looking crisp, so we're looking good, guys. So let's get going. So let's go here. So basically, free leads. So there's basically, honestly, 3 types of free leads. That's the honest truth. There's no like super secret list out there that's going to give you all the free stuff, but let me break down with you. So if you have an excuse of why you can't find free wholesaling leads, let me break it for you right now. So the 3 free types of leads you're going to have, there's only 3. It's like really not that complicated. Is either A, you're going to get a government list. A government list is just a list from the government. Simple as that. The government will provide you a motivated sellers list for free. Not the federal government, but actually the federal government does with vacant lists, but really it's your local city, municipality. Those are the people that are going to give you your free wholesaling lists. And the government, you could have your opinion on it. They are one of the best partners for you when it comes to wholesaling real estate. And what do I mean by this? I said it, the government is one of the best partners for you when it comes to wholesaling because they will provide you free lists and they do all the heavy lifting. Did you know, for example, the code enforcement office at your local city literally drives for dollars for you? Literally, someone will call the code enforcement, usually an older lady, and says, hey, you know, Johnny next door, he doesn't cut his grass and he's just not taking care of his house. Can you go slap him with a code violation, go report him? Code enforcement will go by there, look at them, say, hey, that's bad. I'm going to start charging you money. And then John Seller, motivated seller here says, I have no money. I can't even fix up my house. Like, I need help with this. And they're like, well, we're going to slap you $50 a day till you get it. Now there's urgency. That person has no money and the real estate needs a lot of work. And they just email me that free list here in St. Lucie County. So it's really exciting, guys. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Zach Ginn. I'm a real estate wholesaler out of Port St. Lucie, Florida. I'm a 7-figure wholesaler. Me and Rick Ginn here both. We run the largest wholesaling operation in Port St. Lucie, Florida, and basically on the Treasure Coast here. And I'm here to help you out. I'm 21 years old. I've been doing this business about 4 years now, and I've not stopped. Started with $300, turned that into a 7-figure wholesaling operation where basically I have employees doing all the work for me. So I'm able to get behind here on a computer and really just share with you my secrets. And it's really exciting. And I have a true passion for helping people out because I'll not sell you anything. The one thing you guys do have to understand before you like watch my stuff or watch any more of my content is I am not here to sell you on anything. Like there's no course, there's no like special sales funnel at the end of this thing. I'm literally I give you everything for free. Like that's all I do. I don't want anything back. The wholesaling real estate industry has given me so much, changed my entire life that there's nothing else that I can give back. I mean, I try to give as much as I can. I can never give as much as I receive in this. So that's it. So government lists, number 1, we're going to break down all the government lists, like every single government list. I'm breaking it down. So like, don't worry. Next here is driving for dollars. So the government list is the next type of free list, but the next type of free list you can get is driving for dollars. Now you might say, Zach, you have to pay for gas. Well, go walk for dollars, go bike for dollars. Like seriously, like there's no excuse. Go out there and find the properties that need work. And you can actually get like a bird dog to do this for you. So basically you can hire someone on a commission to go around and look for properties that need a lot of work. And basically that's free. That's another really fun one too. And the last one here, I did not write it down here. Let me write it down really quick, just so you guys have a visual here, is sweat equity. That is the last one. That is basically a deal that you just have to create at thin air mostly. These are like Zillow leads that are absolutely for free for you to use. Facebook ones. You can actually find motivated sellers on Facebook. I'll break down a little more if you guys have more questions about that. And, JVing deals and other types, bird dogs. But that's really it. Like those are the 3 type of free leads. It's not like super crazy. Like it's not like super special. Like it's you go by, of course, learning about free leads. I mean, this is going to be the same stuff they're going to share with you. So let's break down all these types of things. And I want to share all my favorite ones and really do a little breakdown on it. Again, if you have any questions at all, like let me know and I'll answer them. Like I'm not scared. I'm not scared someone's going to lose course revenue or I'm just here to help. So ask your questions if you want. So the first one here is Zillow. Zillow is one of my favorite free leads out there. And if you search Zillow space flip with Rick, you will find a million videos on why I absolutely love Zillow leads. Zillow leads are great. You can pull actually FSBOs from there and start cold calling them. And really you can do a million things with that, especially with wholesaling. So for example, you can actually call a Zillow FSBO lead and ask them if they're open to a lease option, then wholesale that or have a lease option, do creative finance with that, or maybe wholesale that, make 15, 20K. We did a bunch of videos on that. It's a really interesting one to do. It's a very interesting niche in wholesaling. Not a lot of people talk about it, or they'll charge like an $8,000-$10,000 course for it. That's not the type of person I am, but people do that. And the next type is like you do the FSBOs and you try to wholesale them. A lot of competition. Remember, when you're dealing with Zillow or for sale by owners, another one besides Zillow is like the Facebook Marketplace. You can do that too. Just have a conversation with someone. Remember, the wholesaling real estate process is me finding a person who wants to sell their property. They're willing to trade cash for equity, and they're willing to sell their property at a discount for any reason. Like I said before, when it comes to like code violations and stuff like that, they have a problem. They want to get rid of the house. They have no money to repair it, and they just have bills accruing every single day. Probably not worth putting the house on the market for 4 months if they're getting charged $50 a day from the code enforcement office. And they just want to sell it. They want to get rid of it. Kind of like a used car dealership, even a pawn shop, more or less. Pawn shop's a terrible analogy, but it's roughly like that. Someone will sell their car just for cash, trade it in. If they just don't have to deal with it, they don't have to deal with the VIN numbers. They don't have to go on Auto Trader and like do all that stuff. They just want to get rid of it, like simple and easy. If that was a quick service, and that's sort of what we do in wholesaling real estate, is we provide that service for them. So it's one of my favorite ones out there. So, but in the process, we want to find them and then go to www.flipwithrick.com/contract, download my free wholesaling contract. And then from there, we'll actually sign an agreement with that motivated seller. Once we sign that agreement with that motivated seller, from there, we'll actually find a buyer, someone who actually is going to buy it, usually an investor, someone who like has a rental or something like that. And from there, we actually sell that contract. We don't sell the property. We sell the contract. And then from there, we'll just make a spread on that. So my average spread is $35,000 to $40,000 per deal. You might be screaming at the screen right now, like, Zach, how do you do $40,000 on like one wholesale deal? That's like, I've never heard of that. Well, I got HUDs, checks. Like, I ain't scared of it. Like, I ain't scared, bro. But the average one for the average wholesaler, because I mean, I have a lot of experience. Rick has 18 years experience in this industry. So we're able to pull those $35,000, $40,000 deals. I've actually done a $100,000 wholesale deal that I released the video, I think last month. I mean, like blessings on blessings, but it's completely possible in this stuff. So the average one for the average wholesaler, maybe 10 to 15,000. Like if you're watching this and you were like me, $300 with no money, $10,000 will change your life. Like I see people getting stimulus checks for $1,400 and they think the like life's made for the month. Dude, imagine making $10,000 off of your own hard work. you'll never bag groceries ever again. I'm telling you. So changed my life. So that's basically the process. If you have any questions on the process, I'd love to help you out. But the number one question I get on that is like, how do I find free leads? Because I ain't got money to spend on doing leads. This guy's spending $4, $5, $6, $7, $8,000 trying to find motivated sellers, and you get this stuff all for free. So if you get a little bit of swag in there, you can do it. So Zillow, again, like I said, the for sale by owners on there are really good. You can also call the for rents and try to, offer some creative financing or offer it even to buy it for cash. You're going to be dealing with a lot of realtors, a lot of other wholesalers competition, but it's definitely, there's still deals there. And if you're really good at building rapport and actually talking to sellers, you can do way better in it. So that's Zillow. Next here is another one. Getting the tougher ones out of the way. Going to be honest, there's some really good ones. I'm saving a little more for the end here, but MLS is one of the tougher ones. So if you're brand new, you don't have a license, this is probably not the best one for you. I went out this video because I want this video to last for the next 5 to 10 years. So if a market shifts or something, this is just in your head. Just I don't recommend doing the MLS now for most markets, but I want you to understand that that option is out there. So if the market shifts or something, you know how to do it. So basically the MLS, the multiple listing service, that is how realtors list their properties. It's one of the best ways, really like lazy ways, more or less, to actually do wholesale deals. So you can wholesale on the market. If you search MLS space Flip with Rick on YouTube, I'll give you my tutorial on actually how I do it. I don't have 2 hours to go break down specifically on MLS today, but the MLS, if you're a realtor, you have access to that. You can start giving offers or just doing Zillow, the for sales on there, and start calling these realtors and asking if they're open to selling it like cash, and they'll get, the sell side and the buy side if you're in the state that allows dual agency. I'm in Florida. I can't, so I don't do that, but I still do some wholesaling on the market. Very tough deals right now in this current market stage, basically in April of 2021. But really, if the market starts shifting, you can actually start wholesaling on the MLS, and it's easy. So just keep that in mind. I'm not telling you right now to go do it. Guys and gals still wholesale on the MLS today. A lot harder to do, but it is an option out there for you guys. So I do want to keep that in mind. You can do it, but it's just a tad different. So keep that in mind. So next here is way better list. I promise you, is the lien list. The lien list is basically a list of liens. So let's say, Sally Sue has $10,000 of credit card debt and she decides to skip town or, not pay it. What the credit card company can do is, after a bunch of letters and angry calls, they can actually put a lien on someone's house if the judge allows it. Now, this is state of Florida stuff because I live in Florida. So I know my state's laws pretty well compared to if you live in Missouri. I probably know the exact ones, but there's usually something about liens and credit card debt that someone can put a lien or a judgment on the house for, if it's $5,000, $10,000 on the property. And that one will actually pop up on the recordings of your clerk of the court. And you can actually pull that lead and actually call that person. So if someone's $10,000 in credit card debt, and they probably don't have a lot of money, but they could sell that house to solve that problem or maybe downsize the house because they have equity in it. You can help provide a solution where you get paid, they get paid, and everyone makes money. It's a win-win solution. So you do a lien list. Another liens you can get is if someone's behind on their taxes, second mortgages, HELOCs, basically home equity line of credits. Those are like second mortgages. And you can basically talk to people on those lien lists and get real estate wholesaling deals. And you can basically do it all for free. The way you do is go to your local clerk of the court. You can show up there in person and ask for a lien list, or the better option to do is you just do it online. Because if you're in virtual wholesaling, maybe you live in like Los Angeles and you don't want to be wholesaling there. You want to go to like the Ozarks in Missouri and start wholesaling over there. Well, you can go online and actually pull the court records. So it's pretty cool. So lien lists are absolutely amazing one. The reason why I put that in is we've done a bunch of lien deals this year. So it's a good one. Also, I feel like I have to say this every time. This is live, so I'm not like super polished. I'm not this like car salesman type guy. I don't have the voice for radio. I don't have the face for TV, but I got the knowledge for wholesaling. Now, my personal opinion, I try to keep it real with you guys. I expect you guys to keep it real with me. I'll tell you the truth. So if you have any questions in wholesaling real estate, I promise you, I'll tell you the absolute truth. No sugarcoating it. I'll help you out as best as I can. So I'm just trying to put these gurus out of business. The next one is divorce lists. So divorce lists are absolutely powerful lists. Now, divorce is terrible. Always emotional situations. I mean, that's the only thing I can say about it. So remember with these lists, it's very emotional. It's the second most emotional list I could say that we'll talk about today. So remember, it's a marriage. They're getting split up. There's a lot of emotions going through it. And sometimes people just don't want to, like, they got to sell the property. They don't want to deal with a realtor. The fighting between the two people that are unfortunately breaking up. So you can actually talk to these people and see if they're open to it. We do some divorce deals, but they're very tough. Usually the husband's like, hey, you go sell it for $100K. Like, I went out. Like, I want to sell this for whatever. I want to get rid of it. And then the wife's like, I want top dollar. Or sometimes the wife just wants to get rid of it and the husband wants top dollar. It's a complete mess. They're tough deals, but you could still cold call this list, text them, and they work very well. So those are really good ones too. The next one here is the eviction list. So an eviction list is you can go after lists of landlords that are evicting their tenants, and maybe they just want to cash out, and a quick cash sale be very simple for them. They're doing eviction. They're probably sick of dealing with tenants. So this could be a really good opportunity for us. Again, with the divorce list and the eviction list, all you really got to do is basically go to the clerk of the court and pull that list. So pretty good, I think. I'm a big fan of that. So eviction lists are pretty good. I know how to talk to landlords because I'm a landlord and I know a lot of the struggles. And it's a really good rapport builder because it's something I can relate to very well. So the next here is the tax delinquency list. Sort of like that tax lien list, but it's a little different. All the liens can be like a mess, but the tax delinquency list is different because usually when you're behind on taxes, sometimes they'll do a tax deed sale, which means they'll actually put your house up for auction. So there's extra urgency. Credit card debt is bad. I would not wish that on anyone, but it doesn't hold as much weight as if you don't pay taxes for like 5 years, because they'll put your house up for sale and they'll force you to like leave. Like the sheriff will knock on your door, kick you out, that you still get some money from it, but it creates more urgency. That's why I like tax delinquencies. Again, in layman's terms, just a simple way to explain it. If you don't pay your taxes, the government will sell your house for you and kick you out, and they'll get their taxes either way. That's what I learned here in entrepreneurship ever since I was like 12 years old. You pay your taxes, and you do not underreport taxes. You can write your taxes off as much as you want, but legally, but you have to pay your legal amount of tax. You can, reduce as much as you want, but whatever that number is, you got to pay it. Like, that's the one cardinal rule I will tell everybody. You got property tax. You can fight it a little, but like pay that amount, because the government, Uncle Sam, they'll take your stuff away. Hopefully the government's not watching this, but it's a great list. So the next one of my favorite ones too, water shutoffs. I just thought water shutoffs. So really quickly, again, on lien lists, you can actually pull electricity lien lists, so people are not paying their electric bill. That'll pop up too for you. But that just gave me a quick reminder. But the water shutoff list, one of my favorite lists out there. So basically somebody who doesn't pay their water bill. Now, an electric bill, it's not good. I'm in Florida here, so it gets really hot in the summer. So if you're not paying your electricity, you're going to have no AC, and that's tough here in Florida. Whew, can't imagine that. But you could sort of live without the electricity, but when they start shutting off your water, your toilets ain't working, you can't cook food, it gets a lot tougher to live. So if someone's shutting off your water and electricity, they probably that's a vacant property most of the time. And that's just really good for us as real estate wholesalers to go in and have a conversation with the seller and really try to help them as much as possible. So the water shutoff list is basically what I love it. Basically at the utility department, you can pull this list for your local ones. So if you live in Houston, the Harris County Utilities Department, or they might have Houston might have their own city, figure that out. So if I was doing in Houston, I'd actually look it up because if I was virtually wholesaling here from Florida in Houston, I would look at Harris County or Houston, whoever has the city utilities on there, and go ask for that list. And it's public information. Remember, with government lists, It's public. You can always file a Freedom of Information Act, the FOIA, FOIA, because you deserve this information. Like I've said before, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but you can go like find records of like if people think like the JFK thing's crazy, unless it's like super like classified stuff, like the JFK like assassination or something like crazy. Unless it's like super classified like that, you can find any government document. Like you can find government documents from like World War II about war plans, and if you file a Freedom Information Act, you can get that. So if you can get that, you can get the water shut off list in your city. Don't like to make it too extreme, but like there's no excuse for you not to get these government lists. They're absolutely free, and the Freedom of Information Act allows us to get this free information. I don't care about that. Like I like history, but like I don't care about the history stuff right now. I care about actually making money and getting the water shut off list. So people that don't pay their water, you can go pull that list very simply, very easy. The next one is JVing. So joint venturing, co-wholesaling as others call it. That's another thing we can do here to actually pull lists. So it looks like my camera just popped off really quick. So let me go switch it up here. Sorry, guys. That was kind of weird. Oops. Let's see what happened here. Hold on. All right. Sorry, guys. I swear it's some technical difficulties. But the lien list is pretty good. That's the one that I recommend. So it should pop up here. Let's see. Oh, whatever. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so the lien list is one of the best ones out there. I have no idea what just happened there, guys. I am really sorry. Looks like I got to figure this stuff out for my technical difficulties here. But sorry, guys. So basically, the lien list is one of my favorite ones out there. But really, for when it comes to JVing deals, in my personal opinion, I'm a big fan of JVing. So let's talk about that really quick. So you can joint venture your deals. My biggest issue when it comes to actually joint venturing your deals is you got to trust people. That's definitely the hardest thing out there. So when it comes to JVing deals, I mean, you can do it. You can deal with it. But really, it's a toughie. So if you want to joint venture with someone, I do recommend that you actually go out there and actually talk to people. Facebook's one of the best ones out there, in my personal opinion, when it comes to JVing deals. But if you want to joint venture with someone, I do recommend that you build nice connections and actually talk to people from there. But let's see. The next one here is code violations. I absolutely love code violations. I think code violations is one of the hottest markets out there right now. So when it comes to a code violation, you can pull that from your code enforcement office. They'll like help you way more than anyone else they can imagine. And just pull people that aren't like they got high grass and stuff like that. So code violations, one of my favorite ones out there. And lastly, probates. I'm telling you right now, probates is one of my favorite lists out there of all time right now. So I recommend that you go out there, start pulling probates today. But probates is like, let's say someone unfortunately passes away or dies. We can actually pull that list from our county's clerk of the court and basically call those people, have a conversation with them, and see if they're open to selling their property that unfortunately the heirs came up and they passed away. So not the biggest fan of if someone unfortunately passes away, but we can have conversations with these sellers and really start helping them out in their real estate wholesaling needs. So last one is bird dogs. I love bird dogs. I think bird dogs are one of my favorite ones to actually deal with here because when it comes to a bird dog, they do the free marketing for you. You don't have to deal with it. Like the conversations are like super simple. So bird dogs are one of my favorites. So I do recommend that if you want to find bird dogs, Facebook's actually one of my favorite ones out there to pull them and actually find these people. So basically just having a conversation with someone saying, hey, are you open to me possibly like finding deals for me or help me out here? I'd really appreciate it. So bird dogs, one of my favorite ones out there. So they'll actually find it for you and they'll deal with you really quick. So if you guys want, comment below your questions. I'm going to fix this camera really quick. It's going to take me like 5 seconds to do. Then we'll get it going. So sorry, guys. I guess I didn't do any technical difficulties here. Driving me nuts. But pull this up. So let's see what I did wrong here. It seems like pull this out. All right. All right, we're back. All right, so let's start answering some questions. See what I can do to help you guys out for wholesaling real estate. So, I found the problem in that thing. But Ashcon says, "What's up, Zach? What's up, man? How are you doing today? What is up?" Ryan says, "What's up, Zach? What is up?" Atlanta in the house tonight. What's up? How are you? Icon Sports has liked and subscribed as soon as possible. Icon, thank you so much. Means the absolute world to me that you're actually out here showing support here on Flip with Rick. Means the world to me. Ryan says, you think it's better to go to a courthouse or for probate lists, or should I pay for a list provider? I'm a new real estate agent in Dallas, Texas. In my personal opinion, I think when it comes to, you think it's better to go to the courthouse for a probate list, or should I pay for a list provider? I'm a new real estate agent in Dallas. I think just go to the courthouse. Don't pay for it. I truly believe that paying for information, not the best. It's not as quick, actually. This might be surprising for you, but you actually, when you pay for a list, you actually you get it a lot older. So I'm not the biggest fan of that. I don't recommend it. Let's see here. Apparently there's a timer on my camera that I just turned off. So it might happen again. If it not, I'll just get the other camera. But free leads, you telling us the truth. Bro, I'm telling you right now, free leads are like, who doesn't like free? Like, seriously, I love free stuff. So free leads are my absolute favorite. I think free leads can change it because honestly, I hate that there's just like a cost to get into this wholesaling business. I hate there's a cost with gurus to actually get into wholesaling real estate. So I'm not the biggest fan of it. So any questions you got on pulling free leads and stuff, I'm here to help. So let's pull this up here. Let's see. All right. Hi, Zach. Do we contact code enforcement to get the list? Yes. So you just contact the code enforcement office. They'll help you out there. But yeah, I mean, I'll contact code enforcement to get on their list. But yeah, that's it. Ask them for all open code violations. In my personal opinion, I like high grass, and usually we roof issues, environmental issues. I think they sometimes call them in my market, but it's one of my favorite ones out there. So that's what I would personally recommend if you were getting into wholesaling. But just testing the audio here. Make sure the audio looks good. All right, look good there. So Jay says, hey, Zach, what market is better, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or Baltimore, Maryland? My personal opinion, I think Milwaukee would be better, but I've heard a lot of good guys in Baltimore. Like, Baltimore's a pretty decent market. So Raymond says, is Baton Rouge, Louisiana a good market? Dude, that's a killer market. Yes. JJ says, fire. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Seems like Facebook Marketplace is mainly just other investors trying to sell their deals. Yes. That's why you got to confirm that the owners are actually the people you're dealing with. So that's another thing you do have to like sort of understand or know. But yeah, that's it. So let's zoom this thing in. Is that too much? Let's see. There we go. Try to get my face in there. But yeah, Facebook Marketplace, probably the best one for you. So Jimmy asked a great question here. Is a real estate license necessary? I personally don't think it's necessary. In my personal opinion, Jimmy, you don't need one unless you're in like Illinois where it's like required. I personally want it. It affects your marketing a little too. So I'm not the biggest fan of it. Probably would not do that. So as a real estate license necessary, I don't think so. Do you use a title company when closing land deals, and do you close certain deals? I don't self-close deals unless it's like a little mobile home without the land attached to it, or like a manufactured house. Anything outside of that, no. So when it comes to title companies for land deals, yes, I do use them because it's a real asset, and usually they're worth like a good amount of money. So yeah, live is the best, bro. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Bro, you're going to be on every channel blessing everyone. I hope so, man. Thank you so much. JJ says, Zach, is there any way I can call you direct about a deal in foreclosure? Yeah, dude. Below me is my free wholesaling mastermind and basic like Facebook course type thing. So if you want to hop on there every Friday at 6:15 p.m., I go live and you can talk to me face to face. Love to help you out, man. But yeah. If we can't get some of these from the courthouse, I'm guessing PropStream is the main alternative. Yeah, list REI is probably what I would be going at if I want to get like vacants. I didn't really talk about vacants because you kind of have to pay for them. It's a tough one. Technically, it's a free list, but you definitely would have to pay for it. So unfortunately, that's kind of how the cookie crumbles. So let's get this out there. So yeah, I would say listrei.com right now. Forgot to do a disclaimer, Zach. I don't want you to get sued. Yeah. Great one, man. Yeah, I'm not a lawyer, CPA, financial advisor. So I'm just a kid trying to help you guys out in wholesaling. So keep that in mind. Can you pull code violation list on PropStream? 100%. Actually, depends. If you want to get a lien list. So code violations, no. Lien list, yes. Sorry, I got that messed up for a second. No, you can't. You have to go straight to the clerk of the depends. It's either code enforcement or code department. It depends which one. Sometimes they're actually in the city hall. So you gotta be like, it's kind of confusing where they're all at. So I'd be very careful. Hello, I just joined. What did you go over, bro? I just basically went over all the free types of wholesaling like leads you can get. So really quickly, I'll tell you really quickly what they were. So government lists, driving for dollars, Zillow, MLS, lien list, divorce list, eviction list, tax delinquency, water shutoff, JV, code violations, probates, and bird dogs. That's kind of what I just went over. Ashkan says, is PropStream lien list the same as if I go to the court? Pretty much the same. ListREI.com is probably a little slower in my personal opinion. You won't get it as fast, but it's still pretty good. It's hard to beat it. So that's my personal opinion here. But yeah. Amen says he's the most genuine person coach out there with excellent knowledge. Amen, thank you so much. It means the world to me. I really appreciate it. What are good PropStream lists? So my favorite PropStream lists right now are vacants. I absolutely love vacants right now. I'm really liking high equity too. So if you mix high equity with vacants, make sure the person's owned it for at least 2 to 3 years. And I like to keep the equity above 55, 60%. That's kind of my sweet spot. That's my bread and butter. That's my bread and butter. That's how I'm eating right now. A lot of vacants and doing a lot of like SMS text blasting with it. Usually through SMSZach.com is the way we're actually doing it. So that's the way I personally recommend it. But ListREI.com is where I'm pulling it. But vacants are really good. I don't like the like on-market stuff, so I make sure there's no on-market on there. But vacants right now is one of my favorite ones. I would say that's a really good one in high equity. Those are my top 2 right now. Divorce lists, water shutoff lists you can pull on there, credit card debt lists. But right now, if I'm doing like a lot of like marketing, that's kind of what I'm doing. PropStream has delays in updating data. I agree. That's why I kind of leave out some of the water shutoff liens. I go straight to the utilities department for it. But the court is the best way, but it's hard to like pull like 5,000 liens from the court. It's kind of expensive, and at a cent each, that's kind of what I'll use listrei.com for the stuff that I like to do, and then the others for the other stuff. So yeah. Probates. Oh yeah, man. I love probates. How do you rate foreclosures daily? I don't like it. I mean, listrei.com has the pre-foreclosures for you. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So hi, Zach. Great info for a beginner for me to get started. Sweet, sweet, sweet. I really appreciate it. Let's see here. I paid $16,000 on a coaching course, then $2,000 for another coach. Trust me, the info he gives here is better than those. Oh my goodness gracious. Amen. That is nuts. Wow. Jeez, man. Hopefully I can give you the same value. I know for a fact I can, or I will. But Amen, that's a big honor that you think that I have the same value as a $16,000 coaching course. It means the world to me, man. But yeah, that's what I'm striving for. Like that is literally what I'm trying to do, is trying to give you the same value as these gurus out here. And you guys love me going out here and like bashing the gurus, which I love to do. But I try not to do that as much as I used to, because I'm just trying to get more value. We like the gurus I can leave them in the dust. I've been wholesaling land in Florida. I'm in Miami. Besides tax delinquent lists from the county, what other lists do you suggest I pull? Appreciate everything you offer, Zach. So besides tax delinquency from the county, if you're doing land, I would just do high equity land and like SMS blast that thing like crazy. That's my opinion. So like, for example, I would just go to like smszach.com and get like 500 texts for $1. That's the cheapest you're going to find it. And from there, what I would do is just text blast land. Like anyone that's got like equity in land, text them, have a conversation, and go wholesale that. Like that's honestly what I would do, Luis. Hopefully I said it, Luis. But yeah, man, that's kind of what I would do. High equity, I mean, vacant land's kind of there. But like on listrei.com, I would just make sure there's like enough equity on there. But yeah, that's it. And you got loan on like a land. I mean, usually they're all, make sure it's residential. I don't really, not a big like commercial wholesaling like land guy, but that's just me. Gotta treat this YouTube channel like you paid all your life savings to access it. Dude, Ashken, you know what's up. Bro, he's been watching enough of my stuff. He knows. That's exactly what I'm telling you guys. If you do that, I promise you, like things will start clicking, and it'll help you guys out a lot. So, yep, 100% agree, man. Thanks, Zach, for the great information. Raymond, thank you so much for the support, man. The support you give here at this YouTube channel means the absolute world to me. And it's just so much blessings, guys. So I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. Carlos asks, share some of your top favorite books. I got some behind me. I can just show you. Favorites here. Okay, favorite books. Zig Ziglar. I love Zig Ziglar. He's the OG. Learn how to close with Zig Ziglar. This dude, stuff hasn't stopped for like ever. Next here, Traction. If you want to actually start scaling your business, these aren't real estate books, because I feel like this YouTube channel, like any book for wholesaling you read is not going to be up to date, because like I'm in this business 7 figures. Like I know what's going on. So in my personal opinion, I think wholesaling changes way too much. So I would say you got to be careful. So read the principles, not the actual like wholesaling information, because I'll give it to you straight. Like I'm here live giving it to you straight. So there's no books that'll teach you that. But like learning the actual stuff, like how to close, like this stuff's time tested. Like Ziglar, rest in peace to that man. Great dude, OG. But Traction. If you want to start scaling your business, this is a great one too. EOS, basically on top of that, helps you scale up, get employees, stuff like that. That's a great one. And then just some mindset books, Awaken the Giant Within, Tony Robbins. I cannot tell you how much this book has changed my life. It's absolutely game changer for your mindset. But really, you can use that for your wholesaling, relationships, financial, like emotional intelligence. Some of my personal favorite books. But yeah, how do you find divorce lists? Basically, you can go to the clerk of the court and find it. Go to listrei.com, and actually you can pull it under divorce. There's a setting on there. You can actually pull it pretty easily. So pretty good. That's the one that I recommend. Any tips for wholesaling along college classes? Nadar, I wholesaled at the University of Florida in my dorm room, 6 figures a year, cold calling 2 to 7 p.m. So if I could do it, I personally believe that you can do it. So I truly believe if you find the time, this is going to be controversial. It's going to be a very controversial statement to say, but in my personal opinion, I don't think college is that tough. I was never a straight A student in college because I was wholesaling, but I got my degree, and I basically spent no time studying for my classes. I did not care about college. I got a full ride. That's why I was there. And I was only like I left college after 2 semesters to come back home and wholesale in Port St. Lucie because there's too much money when I was 18 in wholesaling not to do it. So I was virtually wholesaling from my dorm room. So you can easily do it. My tips for you though, if you're like wholesaling in college, so basically like I was literally maybe doing college work like 5 hours a week. I got a pretty good memory, so it was pretty easy for me to do. But I dedicated the rest of the time to wholesaling real estate. So like 50 hours into wholesaling, and then like 5 hours I put in there, and then whatever else I had to do through that day. Always worked out. Didn't cut that out. Always had friends. So don't cut like your emotional well-being out of it. But that's just man to man here talk. But wholesaling, basically, anytime you're not doing college stuff. I mean, everyone loves to party, but hey, 2 to 7 p.m. start cold calling. Like cold call that Zillow list is absolutely for free, and just keep going. Get better and better at talking to sellers. Cold calling from 2 to 7 p.m. in college changed the trajectory of my sales skills. You read all the sales skills you want. Getting in front of actual sellers and talking to them face to face and actually learning how to talk to people, especially through cold calling, absolutely changed my life. So I love it. I 100% recommend it. I think it's pretty cool. How are there pre-probate lists on PropStream? I don't like them. I cut it out. Go straight from the horse's mouth. They're golden eggs. So go straight from the hen that lays the golden eggs and get them out. Don't buy the golden eggs from the market where they resell them. Pre-probates, no. Love your content, big dog. What do you think about wholesaling in markets that are in between a 50 to 100,000 population? I've been closing deals in smaller markets. Do you think it's sustainable? JD, I'm going to tell you the absolute truth. I'm not a guru, so I'm not going to give you some sugar-coated, like fancy answer. I don't have the slick back hair. I don't got the slick sales skills to tell you, but I'm going to tell you the truth. 50 to 100,000 population, you can easily make 100K a year in wholesaling there. JD, you can do it. It's not even a question. The real question is, human nature says you need more growth. And you're going to constantly want more. So once you hit 100K, you might be thinking to yourself, or you might even hit it. Like, I don't know. You could be better wholesaling than me. I have no idea. But once you hit 100K, because I hit 100K, like when I was a bag boy, like if I could make $100,000 per year, oh my, like my life would change drastically. Then what happens? You hit 100K, and now you're like, man, if I could hit like $1 million a year, that'd be happy. And then he just, it's a never ending cycle because that's how humans are. They constantly want growth. That's why we're always growing. So you're going to want more. So 50 to 100 is sustainable if you're okay making 100K. Most people aren't once they hit that level. So you're going to want to have to maybe just reach out to more markets. Right now, that's good for you until you start scaling up. Then you're probably going to get to other markets and start scaling up and up and up and more. That's why, like, we had 7 figures in Port St. Lucie, but like we kind of had a limit how many wholesale deals we could do. So we started doing virtual stuff, more counties, more expanding. We started doing like Michigan, more of the Southeast, the Carolinas. We started expanding more and more, and it helped us a lot. So that's my personal opinion. 50 to 100, you can easily do it, but sustainable. Are you okay with only making a certain amount? Because 100K, there's only a certain amount of money you can make. Still, amazing amount. You'll make more than most Americans. How can I edit the liens from year you want to put on PropStream? I think there's a date on there you can do, or you can put how long the person's owned the property for. And there's dates on the liens too. Hi, Zach. I really appreciate the script. I lost my voice in 2018. Doctor told me it was permanent. Do you have a video script to go all the way through my SMS? Yep. All you got to do here is go to So I even have it here. Cold call, no. It's www.flipwithrick.com/texting. So it's the one below. So YY, free SMS outbound scripts, www.flipwithrick.com/texting. I hope this isn't a joke. But yeah, man, if hopefully that helps or ma'am. But yeah, that's it. Best way to market cash buyers. My favorite way to find cash buyers right now is just going to listrei.com, pulling cash buyers, and literally you can just pull people that bought properties for cash and then SMS text blast them if they're interested in buying more property. Like I hate calling it stupid simple, but it's like stupid simple. Like cash buyers are people that buy properties for cash. So why don't I just pull all the cash sales and then text those people? That's what I do. So listrei.com below, that link there. How am I following this thing? Listrei.com for, yep. Yeah. How do you get into land? Basically, all you got to do is pull a list of land and then SMS text blast. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. How do I get into land? That's how I would do it. So if I wanted to get into like vacant land wholesaling now, obviously go to land space flip with Rick on YouTube. It'll pop that up for you. But if you want to start getting into land right now, what I recommend you go to listrei.com, pull residential land in your certain county, and then pull that list. And then once you pull that list, figure out how much land, maybe get 2,000, 3,000 lots, quarter acre ones you want to pull residential, make sure they've owned it for at least 2 to 3 years. And from there, what I want you to do is actually pull cash sales on land and then blast that at smszach.com and text these people if they're looking to buy more vacant land at a deep discount. From there, you're going to ask for their proof of funds, call them, have a conversation with them. If they're open to actually selling their land for a discount, actually, no, if they're looking to buy land for a discount, and then from there, just have a conversation and then talk to motivated sellers on land, get it under contract, sell to those people you SMS text blast, be the middleman in there and make your profit. I mean, we're making 10, 15K on these land deals. They're great. And you can also reverse engineer that. Like, don't forget that. So go after people that are builders or something and say, hey, how much are you looking to buy a quarter acre in Stuart, Florida? Say, hey, I'm looking to buy them for about 20K, a quarter acre. Okay, cool. You talk to it, and then you pull lists on listaraya.com of vacant residential land. Hear me out. You get the vacant residential land on there, and you basically just talk to these people and say, hey, how much you're looking to sell? They say 5,000, and you know you can sell it for 20. Put under contract. You just know you made 15K on that deal. I love it. So that's called reverse engineering, basically, on that one. I absolutely love it. One of my favorite ones out there. Nader asks, how to reliably pull working phone numbers for probate leads. Sometimes True People Search only gives me landlines, and if I can call those, no one picks up. I mean, what I'm going to tell you is just do skip tracing. So batch leads is where I get my skip tracing. You can pull it if you want. So there's 2 ways to do it. Basically, you get 50% off the skip tracing. I think if you use code Zach. So I'll pop that up on the screen below. But if True People Search doesn't work, you're trying to do this all for free, that's what I would do. But I like to keep things free. So True People Search is my favorite. So that's what I would do. And thank you guys again for commenting. It gives me more to talk about. So I appreciate it. Raymond says, is there a different cold calling script for probates? Not really. I think you just have conversations and see if people are looking to sell their property. I mean, you can use any guru cold calling course. They're going to say the same exact thing. Are you looking to sell your piece of property? Then have the conversation from there. It's really not that complicated, in my opinion. Like, hey, Raymond, are you looking to sell your piece of property at 123 Main Street? Yes or no? Then go from there. I use my cold calling script. So it's a little different. You basically after the owner, and then you hit them with a couple things. Different than SMS. But cold calling for probates is one of my favorite ones out there. I don't think you can go wrong cold calling probates. One of my favorite ones out there. How do you integrate ZenCall with Podio, Zach? You're the man. Many thanks. In my opinion, it's a weird question. So ZenCall, if I have a qualified lead, I mainly have my acquisitions person put them into Podio. Not really a click to send type thing. You can. I like the actual written word where you actually have to physically put in a podio. Helps people just, it's like a psychological thing. It helps our acquisitions people a lot more. That's why I do it. Really quickly, I want to check one thing, and then hopefully I have a big announcement to make. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can pop this up here. Also, if this camera bumps off, I might have to do that again. But let's see here. So it looks like we hit it. We hit 7,000 subscribers while I'm doing this live, which is pretty cool. So I appreciate it, guys. Big thanks for 7,000 subscribers too. Just, I'm in the middle of this. I'm not stopping, but I just wanted to thank you guys so much. Like Michael, you're saying Zach's the man. Dude, you guys are the man, or women too. Like Michael, you're the man right now. Helped us get 7,000 subscribers. So the more you guys like and subscribe to stuff, the more it shows it to more people, and the more it helps. So it's always cool hitting a milestone on YouTube live with the people that are just supporting me. So thank you guys so much. I'm in New York and targeting Ohio and Tennessee right now from the past month through Facebook marketing. I don't mind spending a couple thousand generating more leads. The method I should go for, I would say SMS text blasting. If you're really good at that, I would do that. Cold calling is one of my favorites too. So you can't go wrong with both. I would probably do both though. Calling is not an option for me because lost your voice. I would probably do SMS and then have someone call for you, get an acquisitions person or a VA. Or get a VA to cold call for you. Would you recommend a short sale foreclosure property? Asking $390 as the ARV is $465 a good deal. Luis, the problem here is you didn't tell me what the repairs are. If you told me what the repairs are, I give the green light or the red light. That's what I would say. Egg with 50,000 subscribers. All right. I like this. How many calls does it take for one deal? My personal opinion, depending on the list, it'll be between 3,000 to 5,000. Thanks, big dog. Great advice. I appreciate it. Oops. Appreciate it. You're 100% right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, man. Let me pop this up. I don't think I show you the proof. Actually, you guys are watching this live. See, like if you're on Flip With Her YouTube, you can see it hit 7,000. So, Zach, I love your content. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. Keyshawn says, how do I find people to take pictures of properties in a city that's far away from me? That's a really good question you just asked there, Keyshawn. Boots on the ground, or what we call runners. These are people that you want to go take the pictures of the property, because obviously if I'm wholesaling a deal in Pittsburgh, I'm out here in South Florida. I'm way too far from Pittsburgh. So how do I actually talk to these people? How do I have conversations with these people? And how do I actually take pictures? So the conversation is just basically do it from your phone and then, go from there. But if you want to get pictures, I recommend Craigslist. You might seem a little shady right now to do, but Craigslist is one of my favorite ones out there for actually finding people to take properties, pictures of properties. Photographers, if they're not like super bougie and they want like $1 million for it, they're actually pretty cheap if they don't have a lot of work. And obviously they're just trying to take regular pictures, nothing crazy. But those are a little more expensive. Just regular people looking for work. There should be like a Pittsburgh, jobs Facebook group. You can go find someone to do it. Honestly, all you need is like a regular camera. So if someone just doesn't have like a potato as a camera on their phone, it should do fine for a job. And then you pay someone $30-$40, go out there, take pictures, and that's it. That's what I would do. Do you suggest SMS text blasting cash buyers? Yes, I 100% SMS text blast cash buyers. I'm telling you right now, it would change the way. If you have some money to actually start pulling lists, that's what I would do. Greg says, what's SMS system do you use? SMSZach.com. Where can I get the link for your Friday Zoom calls? All right, Amen. So the way you do that is all you got to do is go here. Let's see if I can find it. Go to facebook.com/groups/wholesaling houses for real. That is the link in that Facebook group, which is the largest real estate wholesaling mastermind in the whole country. Yeah, I just said that. Hear me out, gurus. I just said that. So deal with it. But yeah, it's the largest one out there. And the link will be in the announcements every Friday morning. We'll basically post that up there, and then you can see it. I post those live on the YouTube channel. But basically, if you want to actually be on there, you have to be in the mastermind a day before. Amen. So today's the day before it. So you better hop on the link before you get on there. But yeah, I've been doing that since November. And I've helped change a lot of people's lives, help some 18-year-olds get their first wholesaling deal. So I know I'm changing lives doing it. And it's basically just huge fulfillment for me. It's free. It's the same thing as a $10,000 wholesaling mastermind. I give it all for free. And I just want to have people understand what a $7,000, $10,000 mastermind feels like. And I give it for free. And I'm working for free. I don't care. So I like doing that. Ashkan says, let's go, bro. Let's go, man. I'm so excited. 7,000. I just want to confirm it really quick. I'm pretty sure we hit 7,000. Let me just confirm that we hit 7,000 on here. So let's see. Let it load up. Yeah, we hit 7,000. That is absolutely insane. We hit 7,000 on there. So, whew, I think it's 7,000 like 1 or 2 right now. But yeah, man, we did it. Congrats on the 7,000. You provide great value. We're going to 1 million subs, dude. I promise you we are. Thank you guys so much. You will reach 1 million subs, bro. Many blessings. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Let's go. Have you taken any courses? That's a good question, Paul. No, I've taken no courses. Do traditional elevator pitches on cold calls work? If not, how do you intro to a motivated seller? This is a great question, Nader. But for traditional elevator pitch, they don't really work for cold calls. In my opinion, when it comes to your cold calling, you need to be a human, if that makes sense at all. Like what I mean by this is you have to actually be just a regular person. Don't be a cold caller, elevator pitch type dude, Nader. Just have a conversation, see if they're looking to sell a property, and hey, you provide a solution where you can actually buy a property for cash. So have conversations with people, but don't do the elevator pitch. Hey, Nader, are you looking to sell a property? Or hey, Nader, are you the owner of 123 Main Street? Yes, I'm the owner of it. Would you be open to possibly selling it for cash? I'm looking to buy a couple. And then have a conversation, qualify them. The 4 qualifying questions, guys, again, is if you want to see if someone's actually a motivated seller or not, what you want to do is find out their motivation, why they're looking to sell the property. Next is the condition of the property, basically, the AC, roof, stuff like that. Next year is the time frame. When are they looking to actually sell their piece of property? That's a pretty good one. And then what I mean by time frames, like, are they looking to sell within a week, a month, or like 6 months? Pretty important to do. And then lastly is the price and how much they're looking to sell the price of the property for. That's basically it from there. Let's see. Next question. Justin Sasso asked a great one here. Do you use a dialer? I personally don't use a dialer from the average one that you would think of. So you might think that I'm using like Mojo because that's what everyone thinks. I ain't using Mojo. I'm actually using like some crazy dialing systems here. So let's go adjust this. After an hour, I gotta sit back because I did a lot of working out today. So let's see here. Okay, so do I use a dialer? No, I don't use the traditional one. I use ZenCall. It's the dialer that I've been using lately. I'm absolutely loving it. It's a 12-line dialer. So it's a lot better than the average one out there. So I'm using basically ZenCall. Does 12 lines. Batch dialer is pretty good. I've only heard good things about them too. Call Tools is good too. But those are really the dialing services that I think they're the best. I use ZenCall. You don't have to use ZenCall, but that's basically the one that I use. Connor says, do you think North Florida is better market than South Florida and Tallahassee, Jacksonville, Gainesville have been trying to get a good market? Connor, look up the podcast I did yesterday. I basically broke down with Victor Yurchek. He's in Gainesville. Absolute amazing market. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good market to do. So I got nothing but good things to say about North Florida. South Florida is a lot tougher. There's a lot of competitions here in South Florida. So it's going to be a little difficult to do. So I would recommend that you just stay clear of like Miami in general, just because it's a lot tougher to do. But that's my personal opinion. Repair cost $20K. Okay, so let's go back to the numbers here and try to see what we got. So let's run the numbers really quick and let's actually like look here and see. So 465,000 minus what's the repairs? 20,000 repairs. So 465 minus 20,000 repairs. That seems a little low, going to be honest, but okay. Multiply, let's say they'll buy 83%. So 369 is what cash buyer would pay. So it's probably not ideal. Now, if they're at 90%, possibly, you got to know what the percentage off of the regular market value that your cash buyers are willing to buy your property for. That'll probably be your best indicator. So that's kind of where I'm coming out here. Let's see. Do you use TaskRabbit? No, I do not use TaskRabbit. Would you drive 2 hours to lock up a deal? Yes, hands down. If it's a deal, dude, and you haven't got any deals, like, hey, I would be 100% doing that. Yes. Have you ever purchased a list from Facebook groups? What's your experience with that? I've heard of it before. I've never heard of that. Like, I've never I've never done it. I've heard of it. It's kind of ridiculous what I've seen from people. Like, I ain't buying a list from, no, never have. I got it. Already a member of this group. Sweet, man. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate that. Do you use personal or some random numbers to call cash buyers and sellers? Personally, for me, I'll use a random for the SMS text blasting portion, like texting it out. For sellers, I'll basically use the same ones out there when it comes to actually the follow-up and stuff. But for through SMS text blast, we got to change the numbers a lot. So yeah, we change the numbers quite frequently. But yeah, Connor says, where's the podcast? It'd be in the group. But if you're on YouTube, it'd basically be yesterday's video on YouTube. So that's kind of where we would find it from there. How much do you spend a month on all your business expenses? It's a good amount. It's not the 7 figures, but or it's not the 6 figures, but it's in the 5 figures. It's a good amount. But we have operations, we have employees we got to take care of. We got a lot of expenses wrapped into it. But yeah, it's a pretty good amount. When you run an actual big business, it costs a lot of money. So yeah, man, it's literally insane. Also, guys, don't forget to comment below your questions that you do have for me. More than happy to go answer them. I don't want to run out of questions because then I have to cut this thing short. So let me know what questions you got. More than happy to help you out. Anything in wholesaling, I'm here to help you guys out. I promise you guys, here to help. Also, some quick announcements while I'm waiting for some more questions here. If you guys want to follow me, I'm at Flip with Rick on Instagram. I'm not the biggest Instagram guy out there, but I do like Instagram. So I just I don't think I'll post on there as much as I should, but because I'm kind of focused on YouTube right now, because I feel like that's where I can provide the most help. But yeah, let's see. Denise asked, what is ZenCall? ZenCall is a dialer. So basically what an auto dialer is, that is basically a service that will dial a bunch of phone numbers for you. So it's pretty interesting, to say the least. So they will actually go up here and they will dial. So if I have a list of 1,000, 12 lines at a time, they'll call 12 at a time, and then someone will pick up, and then you can actually call them and have a conversation with them. It's kind of ridiculous how it works. Back when I started out, it was actually a 3-line dialer called Mojo. And I was like, wait, hold on. I almost spit the water I was drinking at the time. I was like, are you absolutely I can call 3 at a time versus 1. If you called Wolf of Wall Street back, if you looked at how they did it back then, you'd have to manually dial the phone number in and then hit the rotary or call like that. This Mojo back in the day, 2017, I could call 3 lines at a time, triple line dialer. I was absolutely blown away. Now technology, you can call 12 at a time, and you can always be on the phone with someone. Basically, if you understand the ringing process, takes forever, and a lot of people screen calls and stuff right now. So ZenCall is basically a service that will do 12 at a time. Call tools to do 10. I believe batch dialer is at 10 right now. But ZenCall is 12. A little bit of a learning curve to learn the process of it, but I actually like it. I think it's a pretty good service. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. Geez, we got a lot of questions now. Everyone had questions. I'm glad you asked. I was saying for TaskRabbit, for someone to take pictures, I've never heard of it. Let me look that up. TaskRabbit. Interesting. Freelance labor. Yeah, I'll look it up. Hey, if this just changes something, I'd be more than happy to help. Yeah, that seems cool. Would you do a series on going through a virtual deal? Of course, dude. I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at doing something like that. Pretty similar. Pretty close. So yeah, I'll look into that. Doing that. What is the cost of SMS to run? Uh, you do 500 for $1, and then after that, depends. You can get it for as much as like 2 to 3 cents, or you get it like at a cent. It depends on what you do and what kind of service you use. But it depends. Like I used to be a big SMS text blasting guy. You do like thousands and thousands and thousands every single day. It kind of changed with the compliance stuff. So we're not doing that much of a level as we were back then. But we still do a pretty fair amount. It really depends on what service you use. I used to use like Lead Sherpa back in the day, and I did for 500. I did almost like 4,000 texts, 5,000 texts a day. I got my money's worth back then, and I was getting deals left and right. Things changed a lot, and services like that sometimes will shut you off if you do too much. So be very careful on that. But I would say right now, SMS text blasting, you should be able to do it under $1,000. Where can I get a random? Oops. Where can I get a random number to call sellers and buyers? Google Voice. Probably my favorite one to do is Google Voice. What do you think about burner phone? It's not free, so I probably wouldn't recommend that. So Google Voice is absolutely for free. Get a burner phone if you want, but yeah, you can basically do that. Have you ever wholesaled anything in Palm Beach, bro? I got like 3 deals right now in Palm Beach that I'm doing. So yeah, we're doing a sub 2 in Palm Beach too. So like we do a bunch in Palm Beach, man. Like we like Palm Beach. It's not my main market, but still a pretty good one. So I mean, yeah, I'm not the biggest Palm Beach guy, but you can absolutely still kill it doing it. So yeah. Let's see here. Or to use a title company. Let's see. Oops. Trying to get this thing done. All right. It looks like that timer thing I didn't put it off, but after this video, whatever, I'll go shut the timer thing off on that camera. So to use a title company when closing land deals. So I think I answered this a little, but I think you might get cut off the call. So no big deal. I don't use title companies when it comes to mobile homes. For land, yes, I do. 7-figure a month profits and less than 7-figure a month expenses. Yes. We keep it very lean, this operation, and it shows. I could probably push 8 figures if I wanted to, like if I want to get like all crazy, but I would have a huge, like it'd just be too stressful in my opinion. Like it's just, there's a certain amount of money you can make in this wholesaling business before it gets stressful. I don't want to have 15 employees working like on the wholesaling side, like 10 acquisitions managers, all these dispos, like stress. Like it's not who I am. Like if I can do a very lean operation where I don't have to like work out, like basically like do 5 hours a week of work and making 7 figures, I ain't upset about that. Like I'm living my best life here. So really, I could push it more. We're considering it very slow. But yeah, 7-figure a month of not 7 figures a month. I ain't doing 7 figures a month. I'm doing 7 figures a year in profit. It's over that, but like it's like 6 figures a month in profit. Like be careful. I ain't doing 7 figures a month. I don't know many wholesalers that do that though. I spoke with a title company and they're telling me I need to purchase property first from seller and then sell to buyer. This is New Jersey. I believe so. You could double close there. New Jersey's getting weird though. I gotta look up their laws a little more, but they're getting a little weird. What's the best market to wholesale when starting out in Florida? And what's the best rental market of your knowledge? Rentals, I would say like North Florida right now. The West Coast getting a little too saturated and South Florida's getting a little too much. Orlando's probably anything north of Orlando's pretty good right now. I like Jacksonville, actually. I think Jacksonville's a pretty decent market. Let's see here. If you were in a virtual market with low spreads, would you go virtual? No, you do low spreads and lots of deals. So I think it's a yin and yang, really. How often do you secure deals with the best contract? How often do you secure deals with the first contact? Very rarely. I'll usually call back and just confirm and build more rapport and then hit them with the offer when doing virtual wholesaling. So that's kind of the way that I personally do it. It's a tad different, but it's a pretty good one out there. All right. Jarvis says, I'm on a budget. What's the best dialer to start with? I think Google Voice. Like, honestly, if you got no money, use Google Voice, dude, and just start calling from there. Like, I don't think you can go wrong doing that, man. Yeah, I would say if you got no money, use Google Voice, and then from there and start investing. Make sure you have enough leads, though, before you actually start doing that. That'd be one of my biggest pieces of advice for you is if you're on a budget, use Google Voice right now until you got money, then use like a Zen call, batch dialer. There's a million like ones out there, but that's probably what I'd be doing right now. If I were you, Jarvis, is Google Voice. What CRM do you use? I use Podio. I love Podio. It's not the fanciest one out there, but it does enough work for me. Like it gets the job done. So I ain't the fanciest guy out there. So I don't have this like crazy CRM system. But yeah, we put all our leads in Podio. I think we're at the point where we do have to pay for it. But for most guys out there, it's free. If you search Podio, Flip with Rick on YouTube, it's my free guide. And actually, it'll show you like you usually got to pay like $500 to get like a Podio set up for you. If you search Podio space Flip with Rick, it's almost got like 10,000 views. It's crazy how much views that video got, but it's basically a $500 show you for $500 how like you're able to do it. It's sort of insane. But yeah, that is the CRM that I actually use, Podio. How many deals are you closing a month? It's a good amount. Basically, hopefully we're at like 6 to 7 wholesales, and then we like to keep like 3 to 4 extra wholesales. And then virtually wise, we like to do an extra 1 or 2 a month. Like we're not like these virtual kings. And then we like to JV at least like 3 more. So we do a good amount. What happens if 2 people are answering when dialing 12 at once? That's a great dude. Ma'am. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Why am I always assuming? I'm sorry. Lori, that is a great question. Basically what it does is the first one they answer is it'll get in front of you, and then basically it'll put that person back in line to call again. If 2 people answer, whoever answered first gets in front of you. It's the best way to do it. Virtual through SMS only, please. So I would have a VA. You'd have to train them, but it's a tough one. But yeah, that's what I would do. Do you run your script trace phone numbers through D&D? No. Where can I learn about sub 2? Search subject 2 space Flip with Rick. I got a kajillion videos on it. I'll show you actually how we do it. Absolutely for free. Been doing drawing for dollars. Got a decent list. Started cold calling. Not many pickups yet. We'll keep dialing and recalling lists for a bit, but wondering if mailers would be better for vacants. Vacants for mailers actually work pretty well. I believe you're in North Carolina, if I can remember, Nick, but I think mailing for vacants would be a decent one if you got the money. But mailing drawing for dollars could be good too. So I'd consider doing that also. Let's see. How many employees do you have total? Physically, it's like 2. And then VA wise, we got like 3 or 4. But the VAs keep changing, and then we always put people into work. But really, we only got 1 acquisitions person right now. Like it's kind of crazy. Like it's not special. How do you feel about iBuyers, Open Door, and Zillow Cash? oh my gosh, Justin, I don't care about them at all. That is the honest truth. Uh, all these people charge their motivated sellers fees. So don't be worried. Like I'm telling you, everyone is worried about Zillow cash offers. Zillow cash offers, you look it up, they charge your motivated sellers 7.5% of the purchase price. Think about that for a second. How much does a realtor cost? 6%. And then closing costs, they put like 1.5 on there, and and they're going off appreciation. Open Doors even more expensive. I know iBuyers are more expensive. Like, it's the same thing as a realtor. And I don't talk to motivated sellers that want to list with a realtor. That's not who I'm dealing with. So these are people that I'm not even worried about. Like, they're the least of my concern. It's like being freaked out that someone listed a property on the MLS. It's like most properties should be listed on the MLS. I mean, that's my opinion. So like, I'm not worried about them. They go after realtors more than like wholesalers. So I'm not even worried. I get plus they don't buy properties from people who like have issues or they need a lot of work. Too worried about. So I'm not freaked out over it. I get a lot of homeowners that give me a price right now. How can I give them offer in 10 seconds? Uh, Basically just say, this is all right, Glenn, this is my favorite one. Ready? Cameras keep switching in and out because of the timer thing that I'll get fixed after today. But I would say this, Gian. Gian, have you ever bought in a car? Yes. Would you buy a car without test driving it? No. Okay, then how do you expect me to give you a price without test driving the car or the house? Well, that makes sense. It's true. Like, how can I give you an offer right now if I actually haven't seen the house or seen a picture of it or gone inside of it? Boom. You have the conversation from there. It seems a lot less complicated, but that's the truth. You don't have to be this like super expert at this stuff. So that's kind of how I do it. What about Tulsa? Tulsa's a great wholesaling market. I like Tulsa. I think Tulsa's a really good one. What are the craziest markets in Florida? Where are your favorite markets for? Your least favorite markets throughout the United States? Least favorite, I would have to say, is Miami. My favorite right now is, I mean, I love Port St. Lucie, but it's a very tough one. I got to deal with like 8 wholesalers for each one. That's my home one. So I know it the best. So that's my home market. I would say my favorite one right now would probably be, get in trouble for saying this. I would probably be north of Tampa. Like the counties north of Tampa are very good right now. That's what I could say. And throughout the United States, I love anything really in the Southeast. Knoxville, Nashville, really good right now. Parts of South Carolina, North Carolina, I love them all. Is it difficult to wholesale empty vacant lots owned by the city? Yes. If they're owned by the city, I ain't dealing with it. I ain't the biggest fan of that, so I don't deal with it. So no. Is PropStream skip tracing good? No, I'm not a fan of PropStream skip tracing. I'm sorry, but they are just, I don't think they're that good. That's my personal opinion. Could get in trouble for saying this, but I'm not the biggest fan of PropStream's like skip tracing services. So I think Batch is way better, but that's sort of my personal opinion. So let's go here. Is it working? Oops. What's going on here? Yeah, so that's what I would probably do. Again, I feel like this camera thing's all messing up today. So I'm trying my best here. Definitely going to have to go fix whatever problem I got on this thing, but they ain't going to cut me short. Um, how many properties do you keep yourself to purchase, buy, and hold? A pretty good amount. Right now, it's mostly creative financing that we're doing this on. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with it. But how many properties for myself for buy and hold? It's a good amount. I don't reveal how much I got, but we like to keep at least one or two a month. How much do you spend on skip tracing and vetting? And also, I spend a lot of money on other assets, just kind of growing my net worth. So not just property. How much do you spend on skip tracing and vetting leads a day? Basically, any new leads we get, we'll pay for it. Like I ain't worried. What is your pitch for cash buyers? I have properties at a deep discount I'm trying to sell. That's my pitch. Like it's not that crazy. So that is my pitch. What's your I just have properties at a deep discount I want to sell. So that's kind of my pitch to them. If it works, it works. What's your experience wholesaling in New York? Any areas that you like over here? I like Rochester. I think it's a really good one out there. I'm actually surprisingly a fan of Rochester. I don't know why. There's guys actually doing pretty well in it. So I would say that. I'm surprised vacants have been working so well for you, Zach. Been in Florida, very transient with New York at all having vacation homes here. Yes, if you want, Connor, you can actually like take out New Jersey owners and like New York owners if you want. Just deal with people out of there. But the transient ones, you can take them out pretty easily. Usually they don't own those little rentals, so that's kind of where we're at. What does it mean if the house ARV is way lower than the estimated value? Is that bad? The ARV is 27,000 and the estimate is 60. What does it mean if the house ARV is lower than the estimated value? The ARV is different than the estimated value. It's what the actual thing's worth versus what someone like assumes it's worth. The ARV is 27,000. The estimated 60. The ARV is what you calculate, man. So it just depends. That's kind of what I would say. What's your favorite form of marketing? Lots of wholesalers talk about direct mail, but this seems so dated in my opinion. I agree. Direct mail is older. It's pretty expensive. So you do have to be careful with that. I would say my favorite forms of marketing right now is cold calling, SMS text blasting, and SMS cold calling my favorite. But if you want to get like a little more in there, you do like driving for dollars and cold call it. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. What's your input on finding a new market to wholesale and how do you go about testing it? Do you pull multiple lists to test it out? Uh, hmm. When it's a new wholesaling market, I'm very, very careful on how I do things. What I mean by that is when I'm testing it out, I want to test out what works. So, what marketing lists are working? Is driving for dollars working? Is cold calling working? Is vacants working? Are probates working? Code violations working? Eviction lists working? Like fire damage properties, like are those working? I test them all out. So when I'm finding a new market to wholesale, I'll figure that market out, usually by cash sales, and then I'll see what's working there. But I do multiple lists, and then I go from there. How is it that people get thousands of leads? ListRAI.com does it, and then basically from there you can just like pop it off and get it going. What tasks do your VAs do for you? Basically, they'll pull lists from me, they'll do cold calling, and they'll do SMS for me. You're right. Skip tracing, not that good. I'm telling you, PropStream skip tracing is not that good. I live in New York City, so I know not to start here, but where would you recommend to go start? By the way, you're the man. Jimmy, thank you so much. That's a good question. So if you live in New York City and you don't know where to start, I would say that you should just look at virtual wholesaling markets that other people are doing very well in. And then from there, I'll go switch it up and see what we can change. What I mean by this is if you're in New York City right now, if you're in New York City, I would find places that other wholesalers are like bragging about deals or they're doing very well in. And then from there, basically I would just try to get in those markets and test them. Kind of like what I was talking with the other person about is I would just test it out. That's kind of what I'm doing. Are majority of your deals virtual? Yes. A majority of, well, depends. So virtually technically all my deals are virtually because I'm not going on the appointments. So you got to be a little careful of like how you're explaining it. So technically all my deals are virtual because I'm actually not going on these appointments myself. So keep that in mind. But like virtual, like out of state, very little, like maybe 10%. Like it ain't crazy. But yeah. So do you wholesale properties that are listed as well? I do some MLS properties. I'm not the biggest MLS guy, but I'll do an MLS deal if I have to. Like I ain't scared of doing an MLS deal. There's a lot harder to find in this current market situation. PropStream has been really good for me in regards to skip tracing, big dog. For me, it wasn't, but that's interesting though. Cool. Do you still use Bandit signs? No, they're basically banned where I'm at, unfortunately. So no. Are you just wholesaling or do you rent out the house for tenants? I'm looking for passive income. We sometimes do that with substitutes and stuff, but yeah. Your audio, so yeah, it went out for a second. But remember, I got an issue with this camera here where there's a timer on it and there's a setting I go on YouTube and like learn how to like shut it off. So I think every 30 minutes it like shuts off. So it's causing like every time it shuts off, it's like a 1 minute delay, unfortunately, guys. So you got to deal with it on this live. And then the next live, I'll get it figured out by tomorrow. So really sorry, guys, about that. But I'm trying to get it figured out. What's your input in finding a new market to wholesale in, and how do you go about testing it? Do you pull multiple lists to test it out? Answer that one. Yes, I do. What's your input on finding a new market? All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. What wholesaling formula do you use? I basically find out what the property is. I basically find out what my cash buyers are willing to buy a house for. That's the best way I can really explain it is I try to figure out what my cash buyers are willing to pay. So if they're paying 80% of what the house of like the actual market value of a property, then I know like what I can do from there. So for example, so let's pull this up here. So if I have a 300, let's say $200,000 house, okay? And I know it needs 30K in repairs, okay? New roof and probably the kitchen. So it's worth 170. That's my ARV. If I know my cash buyers are paying 15% below what the things are worth, then I know they'll pay me 144 for this house. And what I know by that is that means if I get locked up for 130 and make 14K. That's my wholesaling formula. Do you have videos on creative finance? Yes, I do have videos on creative finance. If you search creative finance space Flip of the Brick or creative finance space Zach Ginn, they should be popping up on there. Evictionator, ARV minus repairs. Yes. Gonna start drawing for dollars in the DFW area. Saw your drawing for dollars videos. Any other tips? Also, code violations have seemed worthless in all the cities around Dallas that I've contacted, probably because a lot of Dallas people are watching me and they know I'm a big fan of it. So my personal opinion here, bro, drawing for dollars is probably the best one for you. I would probably go against neighboring counties and stuff, but that's kind of where I'd be at, Mark. But yeah. Remember, guys, since this thing cuts out every 30 minutes, just be prepared for it. You'll do a 1 minute delay or whatever. I'll get back on here. I'll figure this timer thing out. I promise you guys. But I like that means since we got cut out for 5 minutes, I'll just add an extra 30 minutes of what I was usually going to do. Why not? Got to put these gurus out of business somehow, right? Their lists are very difficult to work with. Yes. I was in New York. I went to Florida market. LOL. Oh my gosh. It's me, Jew. I live in New York City. Shake my head. It's hard out here in New Jersey to wholesale. I don't know what anyone says. Seriously, Jersey do. Jersey's tough, man. What anyone says here, Jersey too, to a degree though. Yeah, New Jersey's a lot easier, but it's still definitely difficult. How do me and the seller pay an earnest money to a lawyer or title company? Do I need to call and pay them, or do I just submit a payment to the wired account? You can do both depending on your state. If you're in an attorney state, then yes, it has to be through a lawyer with a title company or just with a title company. It really depends on the state. So I can't really answer that for you. Usually like in Florida, I just can wire it to the title company. Do you do mobile homes? I do so many mobile homes. I love mobile home wholesaling and mobile home creative finance. The cap rates are like really good on them. So I'm a big fan of it. So when it comes to mobile homes though, there's a couple things you need to understand. So it's funny to explain, but with mobile homes, you need to make sure the land is owned underneath it. Those are the best deals for me. So I would say make sure the land's owned underneath the mobile home. That will give you the best chance of getting a really good wholesaling deal. Is Bandit signs illegal in Florida? No, but some counties are. Like in St. Lucie County, you just can't do Bandit signs. They just don't work. Have you ever been sued? No. Knock on wood. What other software can you pull list on high volume? List Source is the second biggest one, or Property Radar if it works for your state. Do you provide coaching or Zoom calls? Yes, I do it for free though. I do it for free. Like seriously, I do it for free. I'm not here to sell you on I'm not here to sell you on anything. If you want the free one, facebook.com/group/wholesaling houses for real. There's going to be no sales pitch at the end of that. There's no like funnel system like Russell Brunson where I'm trying to sell you on like something through a funnel. I'm literally just trying to give you everything for free that I wish someone did for me when I started out in this business. And no one did that for me when I was starting out. So I'm trying to be the person that I wanted to be. So yeah, I'm telling you, it's free. It's free. Don't pay $10,000 for a guru. Like seriously, don't do it. Elijah Wilson says, how would you set up with cold calling on Mojo so your numbers don't get flagged as spam? Where do you buy numbers from? Elijah Wilson says, how would you set up with cold calling on Mojo so your numbers don't get flagged as spam? Where do you buy numbers from? I buy my numbers through Twilio usually. So whatever service you use, you usually have to go through Twilio on it. So that's the dependent part. So if I'm using like ZenCall, I just buy my numbers every month usually. If I'm doing like a huge amount. So Twilio is usually where I buy them from. How do you know what state is a title state or attorney state to close deals? Let me pop it up for you while you're doing this live. So title state. Alrighty. See if I can pull up the map for you guys here. Alrighty, so let me share my screen here. So here's the map. Oops. So basically this is the map for it. So basically you can use a title company with those states and then closing attorneys with the other ones. So that's kind of how they do it. Or they got escrow agents. But that's the quick map for you guys if you want to know what state is working or not for it. But that's the easiest one, in my opinion, to figure out. So that's what I'd be doing. Alrighty. After cold calling a code violation list, should I SMS it? Yes. I would say you will get this is really weird and surprising, but you will actually get deals. SMS blasting a code violation list. You will actually get deals in there, but then you'll find out you'll get other deals from just texting it too. So you'll find deals you can get through SMS text blasting, and then you'll find out you actually get deals through cold calling. Kind of crazy. But some sellers will pick up the phone when you call them. They won't deal with the text, but they won't talk to you when you cold call them, but they'll deal with the text. So really weird. That's why I always do both on them. And that's why I'm huge on doing it. So that's kind of my theory on it. So once a code violation gets recorded, how long before it shows up on a service like PropStream or Batch? I don't think Batch does code violations, but usually it's like 1 or 2 months. Straight from the city, you almost get it like weekly. Can you get mobile home list on PropStream? Yes. You got to be very careful on it though. How do you let the homeowner know verbally what you assign the deal and your fee? I mean, you can let them know. I mean, I don't really tell them, but like, I mean, if they ask, I'll tell them. But I mean, they're just getting $100,000 for the house. That's it. Like, it doesn't matter what the minute, like, it doesn't matter. Like, at the end, they agreed to sell the house for 100,000 and you help them out with your service. Thank you, man. You're the man. No, dude, you're the man. Thank you so much. Julio or Julio, please let me know if I'm saying that right or not. So I'm pretty sure it's Julio though. But what's the cap rate on mobile homes? So Chris Root has a really good saying he said on my podcast when he came on. Mobile homes, you got to be careful. You can get really good cap rates, 15, 20%. There's also ones they get 30 to 40. At 30, 40%, I think he said, what is it? This is not a quote from me, so don't use this quote, but if your cap rate's too high, you're going to catch a cat. So be very careful. Some cap rates are too high, but they're just not good areas, or the property would actually depreciate. So it's not actually worth it. So be very careful on cap rates. Below 30%, but above 15 is kind of the sweet spot. What text blasting software do you use? Below me is smszach.com. I want to make sure my mic's working too. Yeah, it's working. I mean, it's driving me crazy, this whole like timer thing on this camera. Like right when I get all like, I don't want to shut this off and then start working on it because I want to help you guys out. So I'm just like, apologies galore today on that, but it's fine. I mean, we do so many lives. Is drop in the bucket. I spent $2,000 on a guru package with the wholesale and it didn't help out, dude. I'm telling you, these gurus, they're not helping it. How many times do you text your list and how often? We do a huge list. So basically the way that we do it is we do it sort of based by zones, if that makes sense. So we do like 3 huge zones for a local market. So we hit that zone January, February, and March for SMS. So zone 1, we'll do direct mail in January. That same zone list on February, we'll hit with SMS, and then we'll cold call that one in March. And then basically, and then zone 2, so in January for zone 2, we'll SMS that one out through the direct mail. From there, I would do that. So basically every quarter they get hit with an SMS list, but every month they're getting hit with a different type of strategy, because through a list of like 40,000, we'll get deals to the SMS there that we've never got direct mail or cold calling. Then we'll hit them cold calling. Then we'll hit them with the other one. It's really good. Let's see. How would you send contracts to the title company if you're virtually wholesaling? Basically through DocuSign and just email it to them, or Dotloop. I use Dotloop. Where's the title company and escrow agent? I'm gonna get the perfect definition because I'm gonna butcher it. I feel bad. Like if so, let me see the difference for you. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So if you're an escrow agent state, I believe you can go through an escrow agent. Basically just the one closing one, then the other one you got to go through a title company. It depends where you're getting your title insurance from though. But I'm not the expert on this because I don't do, what are the states for escrow agent? I haven't done many escrow agent state deals. The only ones I've ever done are in Texas. So usually escrow agents can use a title company though. In escrow agents like in Texas and Arizona that we've done deals, we've gone through title companies. So I'm not the best one for that. Would you send the contract to a title company for virtual wholesaling? Yes, through Dotloop. Julio, love it. How do you hide your assignment fee from the seller at buyer closing? You can either do 2 things. Either A, you can basically hide it. Okay. So you can do a blind HUDs are my favorite. They're very hard to do. Some title companies refuse to do it. Look up a blind HUD. It actually won't even show your assignment fee on there. Those are my favorite. Or double closing, where you actually buy it temporarily with transactional funding and then close on it with the actual buyer within a day. So it's an interesting one. But those are the only 2 ways I really know that you can do it. Or you buy it cash and flip it. But when you're doing live cold calling next week, bro, gotcha. What mailer templates work the best? Postcards, yellow letter, handwritten. Postcards are my favorite right now. I was about to ask something similar. If you had a sales cadence as hitting with SMS, talking to the ones with no answer and throwing them in cold calling, then mail. Yes. So I basically hit the whole list on SMS, and then I'll hit them with cold calling. And basically we'll hit them direct mail after, because that's basically the cost. It gets more expensive each one. So SMS is the cheapest. Cold calling is more expensive because I got to pay VAs and then commissions, and then direct mail is most expensive. So we hit them with that kind of funnel type system. So you can close virtually. Yes, you can close virtually, do a DocuSign, basically an e-signing on it. So yeah, it's 100% available. What's the best drawing for dollars list you think one should make to ensure he can get the first deal? The biggest one, I would say do at least 1,000. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. I would say try 1,000. How to understand cap rate? I'm trying to wholesale a commercial mixed-use building in downtown Atlanta. I was built in 2019, 30,000 square feet, 90% occupied, $20 million. These are some big boy numbers, Charlie. Gonna be honest with you, man. I'll help you out. I ain't the 20 million commercial property wholesaling expert. Let's make that very clear. When it comes to cap rate, that's basically your net on it. So I think it's NOI divided by the cost. So it's your net operating income divided by the cost of buying it. So if you're netting after all your expenses, at 20 million, let me try to do some calculations here. So at 20 million, let's say cash on cash 15, you're netting, let's say 2 million. You're like 1.5 on that one. From there, if it's at 90% occupied, you're at 1.35 million. And then let's say you bought it for 20 million and you're at like a 6.75 cap rate. So it's just basically the cost of buying the building. So it's basically the net money you'll make in the year divided by whatever you're buying it for. So that'd be like a 6.75% cap. Probably not the best for a cash buyer, but ask them what they'll do it. Some big numbers. What wholesaling YouTubers do you think are good? Me. There's some really good ones out there. The problem is there's a lot of YouTubers out there that I love, but they'll try to sell you in a course. And I don't think it's in your guys' best interest to go buy courses. So I'm gonna leave that blank for now because I don't know anyone doing the stuff that I'm doing. What do you think with your mailbacks? I'll go SMS blast them and cold call them. Hi, Rick. How are you? This is Zach. I'm having a blessed day. I tell everyone this. Every day above ground is an absolutely beautiful, amazing day. Come on. If you're alive right now, it's the best thing in the world, right? Just the gift of life. So I'm doing absolutely amazing. Can't be better. I skip traced a list that was okay. Hold on, let me read this, Christopher. I skip traced a list that only a couple of phone numbers came back. Is there another way I can get in front of the seller? Let's see. Hold on. I skip traced a list that only a couple. I skip traced the list. Oops, looks like I messed this up. Yeah, that's just what I usually do. I skip traced a list that only a couple phone numbers came back. Is there any other way I can get in front of the seller? I'm working on a low budget. I'll go knock on their door, Christopher. That's what I would do, man. I would literally go up and knock on their door. Or if you want, I think do we have the sticky notes here? Grab a sticky note here and just write something like, hey, this is Christopher. Please give me a call back. This is something very urgent. I got to call you back. Call me back at, and then put your phone number there. If someone put that at your doorstep, you're going to answer it, right? So that's what I'd recommend. Go out there and that's probably what I do. If you're in a low budget, go drive to their house, knock on their door. That's probably what I'd be doing. Let's see here. Is wholesale legal in Florida? I'm getting mixed. Bro, making 7 figures a year in profit wholesaling in Florida. Dude, I don't like bragging about it or telling you about it, but yes, hands down, dude. I'm doing it. So yes. Stop getting mixed answers, man. You can absolutely do it for free. Chris, send the list so I can get more phone numbers. There are many good YouTubers out there, but no one is open and honest as Zach. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to be as open as honest as I possibly can. I mean, you ask me a question, I'll answer it. Even if I don't know the answer, I'll tell you I don't know it. I don't know it. I try to keep what I want these like gurus out here to do is like get the ego out of this stuff, man. Like you guys got like these wholesaling YouTubers, like they got to get their egos out of it and just to help people out. A lot of people aren't helping people out anymore. And I don't like it. I think you guys should be out here helping the people out. I just truly think that's the most value you can get out there. It's just helping people out in wholesaling real estate. That's what I try. That's what Rick tries. And hopefully we can help you guys out. Do you think wholesaling is becoming too oversaturated? I think it's more saturated. I'm still making 7 figures. Like I ain't struggling. There's a lot of guys out there not struggling. It's a mindset, guys. It's more saturated, but it's easier to sell the deals. So you have to work harder actually getting properties under contract, but it's a lot easier to actually get these things sold. So it's a yin and a yang, but no, I don't think it's oversaturated. Some markets, yes, like Los Angeles, San Francisco. Come on, that thing's way oversaturated. But for the average one out there, I don't think so. Very true, Amen. Is REI Facts good for wholesaling? I've never heard of it, dude. I've never heard of it. How long did it take you to get your first deal? It took me 30 days. It took me 30 days to get my first wholesaling deal. Looks like you got this camera. Took me 30 days to get my first wholesaling deal. So, yeah, I mean, 30 deals. So I did a Bandit sign when I actually started out for wholesaling. So, pretty interesting. So I did Bandit signs when I was starting out. Basically 30 days to do it, but it's not it's the exception. It's not the actual like expectation. So I would say if you want to get out, like get started wholesaling real estate, what I would recommend for you is drive for dollars. Like you get a deal in a month if you want. You just got to push it. That's it. What's your favorite list source? I would say right now probates. Probates are my absolute favorite right now. I'm a big fan of probates. It's my favorite. So hands down, I will always promote probates. I think probates is one of the best ones out there. So I'm a big fan of probates. So let's see here. I appreciate it, Zach. I've got a lot and another investor tried telling me otherwise. Dude, wholesaling is legal in Florida. I will tell it to the day that I die that wholesaling is legal in Florida for now. If it's illegal, I'll tell you. I'll tell you strategies how to wholesale. If it's not legal, we can do it legally. So I promise you, I will hold your hand here. Whatever state situation's going on here, I will help you guys out. I promise you. Kang's stuff I've got more value from your free YouTube videos than Kang's. Dude, Kang's an amazing dude. I got nothing bad to say about him. This is your opinion. So appreciate the compliment. I am never open to actually going after anybody. So hope you guys do well. I 100% agree with the statement. I honestly feel like you don't know who has true intentions for the most part anymore. Dude, it's 100%. Like, that's why I don't do any funnels, sales things. I just don't. So no. Just want to say, dude, all these guys want to sell you stuff. They're trying to make money off of you. What's the list stacking? Is there any tools to stack lists? Batch Leads does it. They're the only ones that I know that does do it. But you can do list stacking. It's basically stacking a list on top of each other. So basically you have a vacant list and then you'll put a high equity one there and then you can stack it out there. ListREI.com basically does it for you for free. So that's why I like it. Would you suggest starting out in the Dallas market or Texas period, or finding different market? I'm a newbie and there's a lot of competition here. Drawing for dollars is the best one out there in Texas. So I would say certain markets of Texas. So Dallas is a little more saturated. Houston's kind of weird, but there's some virtual guys out there. West Texas and some of the rural parts are actually pretty good. So yeah, I would say that. Do you handhold your probate leads, refer them to attorneys? Yes, I will, if it's a crazy probate situation. But yeah. Justin says, last question, LOL. Where do you get the best probate list? From the courthouse. The courthouse is the best place to go out there and find probates. Go to your local courthouse, the clerk of the court, and go out there and try to get the probate list. As simple as that. Like, I cannot say it enough. Go out there and try to find that probate list. I'm telling you, it would change your life if you can go out there and start pulling probates. Cold call that list for free on Google Voice. Skip trace it at truepeoplesearch.com. I'm telling you right now, if you do that, you will get so many wholesaling deals for free. So that's it, guys. So free wholesaling lists. I'm going to go over it really quickly with you guys again, just in case someone's new off of here and they didn't really see it too well. But before we get any more questions, let me go try to pop up, make sure we're all good here. So basically the best way to do it is the best free ones out here are government lists, trying for dollars, Zillow, MLS, lien lists, divorce lists, eviction lists, tax delinquency, water shutoffs, JVing, code violations, probates, and bird dogs. Those are the best free lists to do. I really appreciate you guys just giving the love and support here at Flip with the Rig. It means the world to me. So remember, before you hop off, smash that like button and subscribe. It means the world to me. Thank you guys so much, and have